This is KGRG 89.9, today's rock. This is DJ Dirty Sal, or well known as Sal. I'm here with Kenny G.
What's up?
How are you doing today, Kenny G?
Not bad.
Alright, you ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. The first question of the day. Growing up, were you always listening to radio? And what station?
To be honest, no. Sadly, it's just, yes, I guess, but I wasn't listening to radio because I wanted to. It's me sitting in the car with my family, and they're listening to either KMPS or what was once 97.3 KBSG, which I believe is now a talk station for Cairo. But that's about as much radio as I listened to. I wasn't as much into music until about near the end of elementary school, and then especially in the middle school, that's when I really got into music and everything. And then radio as well with like KSW. That's the station I listen to outside of KGRG.
That's awesome. They are well known.
Well, yes, of course.
Yes. Number 2. How are you affected by radio every day?
Well, you've got to think about it like this. There are different kinds of radio. It's like I listen to radio for obviously new music, whether I hear it on the radio or I'm listening to it on a computer, which in some cases that's online radio. And normally that's KSW over the internet, whichever. But I guess it infected me mainly just for the fact is you're entertaining people, I guess. And I guess listening to radio is that too. But now that when you get into the field of doing radio, listening to radio is completely different. You're just like, oh, I know what they're doing. I know exactly what they're doing. You just get a feel of it's like, oh, this is how that works. That's how that works. It's a completely different experience when you are in radio and listening to it, while just being the everyday citizen listening to the radio driving to work. It's a completely different atmosphere, experience, all of that.
So, number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Radio. What's your favorite thing about it?
It depends on the state. It depends on the station, and I guess because each station has got a different concept. For me, I'm more into the music side of stations. I guess I love music. I love what it brings people. I love the atmosphere. I love the people that surround I love the people that surround music. If you want to think of it that way. So it's just like I love what radio does is entertaining the masses, being the voice of your area, bringing a voice to your people, stuff like that. And that's just, I guess, a basis of it.
All right. Question 4. Is radio a career choice for you?
Of course, completely. 100%.
And when did you know radio was for you?
And believe it or not, it was because of taking Digital Radio Lab here at Green River, and I completely switched majors. That was fall of 2010.
What was your previous?
Believe it or not, I was planning on majoring in automotive.
Oh, nice.
Becoming an automotive technician. For those who don't know, a mechanic. But yeah, ever since Digital Radio Lab back in fall of 2010, that's all I want to do. Eat, breathe, and sleep radio. That's all I do. The weekends are my downtime, more or less.
So what are you doing now, as far as radio?
As far as radio, I officially, as of the beginning of this quarter, was appointed the new program director of KGRG1, our AM station, as well as on the FM side, I used to be the traffic director of both stations. On the FM side, I co-host Candy Dai Pinky Heaven, our Japanese rock specialty show, Mondays 7 to 10. And now me and my friend, the new AM music director, have put together a new team show for a team talk show for the FM side called No Foundation, which should be hopefully showing up within the next quarter. So that's basically the gist of what I'm doing right now.
That sounds really awesome. Where do you see yourself within 10 to 20 years?
Well, basically, it's like as far as the radio aspect, I want to be I want to be in the programming side. I want to be up in the upper management. I want to have some sort of influence on the station I'm working at. So whether it's being in the music department, the programming department, not necessarily, I would prefer music and programming, but also I want to be an on-air talent. I want to be the voice of the people. Yeah. So in 10 to 20 years, either be some sort of program director, music director, or just straight up on-air personality, or one or two of them at the same time. I'm up for it, and I'm game.
Who motivates you as far as right now?
Well, as far as honor personalities, I'd have to say two different stations call to mind. KSW, just because of that's the genre I listen to, and it's also BJ Shea, the morning show there. I love their topics. I love the way they go about what they do, including the men's room as well. Jolene, Miles and Thrill, the men's room. I love that show. But I guess the big experience that I got as far as professional radio, back between last September and December, I was one of the interns for the Bob Rivers show, and I'd like to think Bob Rivers has, I guess, become a big influence on me. I admire his work. He's a radio pioneer in this area. Everybody knows, anybody in Seattle knows who the hell Bob Rivers is, and I've learned a lot. I'd like to say I learned a lot from him, and get a good idea of what it takes to be in the radio market.
And the second one?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
And the second one? You said there was two.
Yeah. Again, KSW with BJ Shea in the men's room, and then
Okay.
Bob Rivers, who's part of KGR FM, Oldies 95.7.
Okay. Now, in your life, as in family members or close friends, who motivates you?
Probably my best friends, my two best friends, who are practically my brothers, as well as my co-host, Kelly, who's the other co-host of Candy Dive. Big influence. Everybody up here at KGRG, Tom, all of them. It's like being in this atmosphere up in the station. You're around most people up here. They're here for roughly around the same reason you are. So you're all here. You're all pushing each other. You've all got the same goals. So whether or not you notice it or not, you're bouncing things off each other. You're learning more because they're around you. You help each other out. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you butt heads, but well, that's competition. But yeah.
KGRG, love it or hate it?
Now see, that's a trick question. That's a trick question. You gotta think of it like at this standpoint. I love KGRG FM and obviously KGRG 1 now, but probably not for the reasons the listeners think. I love them for their history. Now the genres and stuff, it's not whether I like it or not. It's whether the listeners like it or not. That's why we play the music we do. Whether I like it has nothing to do with that. I love it for his historic history, what the station teaches people who come into it, and just the historic, how linked it is to our state in Seattle and all that, the music scene, everything. That's what I love about KGRG.
So you love it?
Yes, in that sense. You tried so hard.
What is your favorite thing about KGRG?
The atmosphere, the people you're working around with, and the listeners who enjoy the work you do every day.
Do you enjoy going to Green River Community College?
Oh, most definitely.
What brings you back every single day to Green River?
Well, KGRG for one. That's the big number one thing there. My friends, all my peers, all of that, and I love the campus. I actually started out here as a running start student, and I had to get out of my high school, and Green River was straight up the answer. Great campus, great people. Basically, I want to get away from the immature people who don't know what they're doing with their lives, don't know where they're going. I want to be in an environment where people have an idea of what they want to do, and they're striving to succeed in that. That's what I believe Green River and KGRG is all about.
It's a wrap, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny G.
No problem, man.